right, so that was the end of the first part, and the second part is already out, and let's just react to it.
She wasn't really moving. She was like drooling. I called Max Lee, security. She's not waking up. She's not really responding. I don't really know what to do.
I rang security and I said, Jordan's just called me in a panic. I need you to go into the room now and tell me everything you see. She was propped up, vomit everywhere, but she was on her back, which isn't good. So I told him, put her on her side, clear her throat, and I'm on my way.
By that point, some more people had started to arrive at the house. And I'm just kind of like, do I call 911? Like, what do I do? So I called, and I just remember sneaking downstairs to make the phone call because I didn't want to get in trouble for calling 911. While I was on the call, someone told me to tell the operator no sirens.
Hang in there, okay? We're on our way.
Oh, we are talking about that.
You should be hearing the sirens real soon.
No sirens, please, right?
She didn't.
No. This is a medical emergency. I don't have control over that. This is definitely a medical emergency for her.
I was so confused. I thought maybe she'd been in a car accident. I had no idea.
I get a call from our tour manager. Demi's in the hospital. And I'm like, shut up. And this guy is known for joking around.
I started getting a flood of texts saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And I was like, sorry about what? Like, what is happening? And then Max calls, her security.
So before I could get to try to find out on my phone what had happened, I got a call from her assistant.
When I heard her on the phone being like, okay, all right, but is she okay? Is she alive? Is Demi alive?
And she said,
That's a good mother.
She's breathing. We're at the hospital, but she's not talking.
Everyone turns on their phone. People are gasping in the plane. It was so surreal. And I'm looking at everyone's phone and it says Demi Lovato overdose.
I can't imagine that. Fuck. That's finding out your friend OD'd in the fucking tabloids. I can't imagine.
ICU. She had a tube in her neck that was taking her blood into a machine, cleaning it, and then putting it back into her neck. And
her
as
neck?
a parent, you're watching.
If anyone's a doctor in medical,
come out of her body into a machine and come back. I asked the doctor, I said, what happens if she pulls out that tube in the middle of the night or when we're not watching her? And he actually kind of laughed and he said, that tube's not coming out, it's sewn into her neck.
I actually don't think people realize how bad it actually was. I also had pneumonia because I asphyxiated and multiple organ failure.
She asked me 2 or 3 times what happened. And I said, Demi, you're in the hospital and you overdosed. And she just sat there and said, like she was really upset with herself.
I am not saying that I have not used needles, but that night I wasn't injecting it, I was smoking it, which is another reason why I was so shocked when I woke up in the hospital, because I was like, no, I'm not injecting it, I can't overdose on it. At the end of the day, if you do too
that's
much
an
of
addict's
anything,
brain.
it's gonna kill you.
That is an addict's brain. You try to tell yourself, oh, all these bad things that people say happen to addicts, it's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. I was like that. I thought, oh, I'm not addicted to it because I don't experience any symptoms of it. Until I first experienced shakes from not having a drink for more than 8 hours, you couldn't have told me that I was dependent on alcohol, you know? So, like, what she's just describing here doesn't make any sense, but that's addiction. you tell yourself lies because the addiction is controlling that, you know? And people don't get it. They don't understand that it's a mental illness. It's like, have you ever lied to yourself because you wanted to believe something was so true? Like, it's like that, but it's a whole other level. It's intense.
Yeah. And that's all you need to worry about right now.
She got lucky. She got a lot of support. And a lot of people get mad saying, like, people don't care about addicts or shit. I actually had a friend who said, like, doesn't matter that she OD'd. Other people are starving and hurting around the world, and I don't care if she died. I didn't care if she had died or not. First of all, if you use that to, like, devalue this, like, you're an asshole because there are so many people who had addiction problems. Secondly, that person was particularly an asshole because they knew about my drinking problem at that point, so they had absolutely no excuse to say that to me. But the thing with Demi Lovato is, the reason why people are so supportive of her is because she's been so open about it. She had stayed sober for 6 years. She was honest about her struggles up front, and I don't understand people who get mad at people talking about this. It's important that we talk about this because addiction has ruined so many lives. And this gives addicts hope that people will support them in getting the help that they need. Because a lot of people didn't get that support entering sobriety. I didn't get that support entering sobriety. When I decided I was done drinking, I decided it for myself. I saved myself because no one else around me gave a shit. And it just goes to further show, like, just how much of a stigma there is around addiction. And it's why I'm scared that in the title I say recovering addict. I've never labeled myself as an addict until now because you can't take that back.
Even on whatever drugs I was on.
They gave the two options, and I said, please try this part first, for obvious reasons. Then he came back to me and said, we just can't do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
He put her on
I can't believe they put it in her neck. And I can't believe they're gonna put it up her groin.
I think that's what saved her life.
And she looked me dead in the eye and she said, "Who is that?" Which is something you never want to hear your sister say.
Yeah, no. I don't want to cry.
That is by far the worst moment of my life was when she woke up and she was like, I can't see anything. And we all kind of looked at the nurses and the doctors and were like, what? Like, what do you mean? What does she mean? What do you mean she can't see anything?
Means you can't fucking see.
Blind when I woke up, and my little sister was at.
For those of you who don't know, legally blind means that your vision is 20/200. So whatever I could see from 200 feet away, she had to be 20 feet to see it. Which, it's not blind. I learned that from Molly Burke, which, by the way, if you don't know who Molly Burke is, how the heck are you watching my video on YouTube and you don't know who she is? Like, what? Like, huh? She has millions of subs. Like, millions. I have 100. Get your priorities in order. Check her out. She's awesome. But, yeah. Yeah, so she could see, but not anything that was substantial.
And then to bring it full circle, you couldn't see your sister in a literal sense.
I know that's not what they literally meant. I know they meant it metaphorically, but it's really ironic and in a weird way poetic that it ended up happening like that.
I didn't
mean, not
think of that.
actually seeing her.
Oh, God.
To be honest, when I found out that Demi wanting to be able to see me and keep a relationship with me was one of the reasons she went to treatment, I didn't believe it. That a sister relationship like that could stand in the way of Demi and her addictions, even if for a moment.
I think that God has
That's a lot of pressure on Maddie.
sometimes.
Oh, yeah, he does.
I think people can understand picking up.
Do you have Coke and Xanax? And he said no, but I have crack and heroin. And I was like, I've always wanted to try it.
So it might be hard for people to understand,
Huh?
but when people relapse, and this is, pretty much the case always, is that people will they won't even return to where they last used. They will return to a much harsher bottom.
I knew that what I had been looking for, I hadn't found yet.
That's interesting to me because my drug of choice was always alcohol. Like, there was nothing I wanted more. I had been offered harder stuff by people who knew I had a drinking problem too. And I don't know why for me this happened. I think deep down I knew. But when I started thinking maybe I should go for this voice screamed in my head, and it didn't even sound like mine. I don't know what it was, but it said, if you do this, there is no going back. Say no. And I did. And I'm very grateful for that voice, whatever it was. Don't know if it was intuition, don't know if it was a spirit, don't know if it was just my brain. Fucking wild.
That spiritual growth is what I was looking for.
You cannot help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. I mean, you can cut them off, you can threaten, you can offer help as many times as you like.
Yeah.
How far do we push? How much can you pull away from someone because of their addiction until you just become an asshole?
That's a good question, and I do have an answer for it. And I don't know if my answer is right, so if you've experienced this before, comment below, let me know what you think about this. But you become an asshole when you start telling the person they should go kill themselves. That happened to me. I was told by someone that, they listed off all these people and said, they all said they never want to see you again. They all said that they wish you were dead. And they said this to me over the phone, trying to have a conversation and work things out with these people and say, like, look, I know I fucked up and I'm having this conversation to tell you what I'm going to do, but all they had the intention of doing was driving in the knife a little deeper and making me feel worse. So that's when you become an asshole. When you start taking your anger and aggression out on them in a way that just is abusive. You can say, like, this is too much. You need help, and until you get help, I cannot be in your life. You can be mature about it. It's hard to do. I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy, but you can do it. I've done it with family members. I did it recently with a family member, actually. So, yeah, don't add trauma. That's the best way you can walk out of someone's life. With respect and dignity.
I said I was going to bed, but the reality was I had called my dealer over. What people don't realize about that night for me is I didn't just overdose. I also was taken advantage of.
I'd not heard of him before. That was a part of her life that she had kept.
Oh. The fact, sirens, like, no, stop. I'm already emotional. Stop. I'm trying really hard not to cry, and I can feel that within myself. Like, my heart hurts, and I'm, like, holding back my tears. Ironically, due to my drinking, one thing that happened to me is that I have a really hard time crying now. Thanks, trauma. But yeah. The fact that the dealer, I don't even know if he was the dealer or not, was going around to TMZ talking about it. If it's that guy, all I'm gonna say is, oh, you should be disgusted with the type of person you are. Like, screw the drugs, screw that. You took advantage of someone and left them for dead. Like, garbage human being.
Woke up in the hospital, they asked if I had had consensual sex. And there was one flash that I had of him on top of me. I saw that flash and I said yes. It actually wasn't until maybe a month after my overdose that I realized, hey, you weren't in any state of mind to make a consensual decision.
Yes, you survived the 27 club. In a way, it's like probably a subconscious self-fulfilled prophecy. But what's different is she lived through it, is that she survived it. She was where her father was, but she
I love the way they edited this. Like the drawings and everything. It's beautifully done. Is that the end of the episode? Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ.
Did you know who DEMI LOVATO was before that night?
I did not. And I did not Google her for about a week after I started interacting with her. And sorry.
That's fine.
But I didn't do that. I didn't do it deliberately because I don't like it to influence my medical decision making.
But you know she's got some bops.
I now know that.
Wow. I have no words. I know there's more to this, and it's probably going to be like the redemption arc of everything, but like, Jesus Christ. If you guys want me to make a reaction video to parts 3 and 4, I will do that. The thing is, I knew what the main talking points of this were, but just hearing it from her side was different, you know? And I think the way they edited this and like recreated it with like drawing and line work, whoever edited this and directed this, like, hats off to you. That's incredible. This hit deep. This hit real deep. And when she said that whatever happened to her that night, she takes full accountability for, I just want to make it very clear. Doesn't matter if you're an addict. Doesn't matter if you're strung out, if you overdose. That doesn't matter. In the sense of that, no one should have taken advantage of you. And Demi, I doubt you're going to watch this, but I want you to know that he shouldn't have done that to you. That was his mistake, not yours. Don't you dare take the responsibility for that part of it. Take responsibility for the addiction and the trauma and the healing, 100%. Because at the end of the day, the people who traumatized us, they won't take responsibility, typically, but you can. And the way you worded that, I wanted to say this because I blame myself for a lot of things that I didn't have to blame myself for. And looking back, it's crazy how much I blamed myself for things I didn't even do, things that were done to me. So understand where responsibility lies in these situations. I'm going to have some resources linked in the description for anyone who needs it, because I don't know who's going to watch this, you know? I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to like hit outside of my typical audience. So if you are someone you know is struggling, please reach out for help and know that there is hope and there is healing and there is brighter days ahead. I collect myself for a second. I'm gonna do some breathing now. So now that that's over and it's heavy and intense, let's do some breathing. Okay. All right. Let's do our little upbeat outro. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, again, give this video a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe, hit that post notification bell to be notified whenever I upload. And if you want me to do a part 3 and 4 video, I would be so down to do that. But you guys gotta comment below and let me know. Otherwise, how am I gonna know? Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!